Screen Queen Review. So I just finished the last episode of Orange is the New Black, episode 13. Oh my gosh. So many cliffhangers, so many things that I want to see. We have to wait a whole nother year for this, but I will go ahead and just go a little bit into the episode and also what I think would probably happen next. So we'll see how it goes. I've kind of been on track. I've kind of got a little record of what I think is going to happen lately. So hopefully I'm right, but we'll have to wait a year to see. So in this episode, titled Be Free, I'm going to start with the good stuff. So we have Alex. She's been keeping her secret that she's pretty much sold her soul to Carol in order to save Piper. But Piper doesn't need saving because she's told Alex that she's getting out on early release. She doesn't know how this happened. We're not going to question this. We're just going to go with it, okay? Because this is a good thing. So Piper and Alex, they've been talking about how they want to have a prison wedding and then a wedding on the outside. So Alex gives it to her, and it was so sweet. So she brought her into a room, and then you have Nikki, who's dressed up in her Jewish garb, and she's just ready to quote some things she remembers from her childhood, most likely, in order to get them married. So it was really cute. Lorna was there. Cindy and Flocka came in. Loose Check was in there because he had to get them the room, and of course Nikki. So that was really nice. Lorna called herself giving them something old, new, and blue, which was a shank. So, okay, prison life for you. Expect nothing less. And plus, Lorna is now the original OG. So that was a nice moment. It really gave us something good in the end of this because we're getting ready for the slaughter. So Carol and Barb have geared up C Block and D Block for this war, and they're doing their weird chants. I didn't really like the C Block chant, but okay. D Block, y'all had a little rhythm to y'all and everything, so I'll go with it. So we find out that Lorna is going to be part of a plan where she's supposed to fake having her contractions and being pregnant so that they can get a heads up on C Block. Nikki doesn't really want Lorna as part of this, so she gets Lorna to kind of leave and go to the laundry room with her, and they try to hide. But druggy Blondie comes in, and Nikki sees her, so she comes out so she won't know Lorna's in there, and Nikki ends up being brought out to the kickball game. So everyone's pretty much preparing for this game, trying to head out, and we also see that Suzanne wants to play kickball. So I don't blame her. She's been told that the pinks are territory that you don't touch. Apparently, Frida is safe now that they went ahead and got the person who was supposed to take her out. And Frida actually apologizes to Suzanne and lets her be free. Go play. Go play, my love. And we also have a moment with Sophia and Frida. So Sophia is one of the ones who gets to go home. Yes. And Frida is just being her old paranoid, you know, old mother hen self. And Sophia loves it and still gives her first dib on her stuff. We also find out that Blanca's in the free line. She calls Diego and tells him the good news. So I'm sure he'll be waiting, which we know he'll be waiting. Y'all, I was so sad for that moment. I was going to wait to try to speak about it at the end, but that moment, Diego is the sweetest thing. I need me a Diego, okay? He was out there, had his flowers, just ready to see his queen. And they had ice out there. And then Linda reveals that Polycon is going to be creating this immigration detention center. I don't know where this is going, and I don't like it. We already have a whole half of the cast that we didn't even see but for one scene this whole season. And now you're going to put Blanca, either deport her or put her in one of these immigration detention centers until when or what? I can't. Because Gloria has found out about Fantasy Inmate, they put her in ADSEG. We have a moment where Loose Check tries to go down there and talk to her, and it's pointless because, as Gloria said, and as we all know, Loose Check, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to act on any of this. You're just going to let everything slide by because it's not affecting you. And you're always going to look for an opportunity as long as you don't have to do too much work for it. So I'm kind of tired of Loose Check. He's comedy, but it's irritating to know that he's feeding into all of the negativity and everything that's going on. He always has some part to play in it, and you can just do the right thing. Do the right thing. So they end up having a meeting, the guards, and it was said that it was loose checks information that was found by the inmate, and that they're probably going to have to end it, but they're going to keep it going and still have kickball and see if they can just get the last bit of points before they have to call it an end to fantasy inmate for the season. So McCullough, she's not really feeling it. She goes to Hopper. I finally caught his name, so that's Aleda's boo, and pretty much tells him that this is horrible, this is bad what we're doing, and he kind of makes a good point in a twisted way. He's like, they pretty much do fantasy inmate in order to keep them fighting each other so that they're not fighting us. That way we don't have any issues like how you guys had in Litchfield with them attacking you all. So, I mean, yeah, that's a good point, but I still commend McCullough for trying to do the right thing. And she does end up doing the right thing while they're out playing kickball. At least something that she could do to do it, to like try to resolve it. We didn't know how it was going to end, which I'm glad it did end good. Kind of, because they amped up this whole kickball thing for nothing. All right, you guys. So 2 small things before we get to the major parts of this episode, because I need to talk about this and get this off my chest. So we have Aleda. She came to visit Daya, and Daya is so toasted and just out her mind. She's literally about to overdose in front of Aleda, and she keeps dozing off, falling asleep, doesn't know what's going on around her. Oh, it's the craziest thing. And Aleda ends up having a conversation with Hopper, and she has to decide at this point, do I save the kids I can save, the ones that I can make an impact on, and sacrifice my oldest to do this? And I mean, that's a decision. I can't, honey, I don't know what to tell you. We also have a moment with Cindy and Flocka where Flocka pretty much lets her know that I knew you was talking about yourself that day. There's no way that you would react in that way if it wasn't you. But also, I need you to commentate on this kickball. We're the ones who are going to bring the unity and the fun, because some crazy stuff is about to go down. I feel it. It's tense in the atmosphere. And I need you, Cindy. Come on. So Cindy agrees to go out there, and I'm glad they had a moment where they were outside and they start commentating, and Cindy gets into it, and you can tell she's like bringing her old self back. So, okay, you still got a lot more to do to make up for the things you've done, but it was just nice seeing the old Cindy again before she did all this crazy stuff that she got herself into. So in this episode, we get the verdict for Tasty. Before they get to that scene, they show where they're going over the medical examiner report, and you can see the boredom on everyone's faces, which is just what the lawyer said in a previous episode, that no one wants to hear all of that. Yeah, it's enlightening. Yes, it's informative. Yes, it should help you make a decision, because that type of evidence won't lie. If it says that it can't have been done this way, it can't have been done this way. But again, this is pretty much a popularity thing, and they just don't want to see her win, and she has to do her testimony, which she did already, to try to sway their opinion. So we'll see if it works. Well, we do see if it works. So she comes out after having a conversation with Caputo. Caputo motivates her again, tells her not to worry, you're an awesome person. Also lets her know that 2 people actually filed against the MCC, so that's a good thing, and they're going to be putting it in the paper, and Tasty doesn't really see that right now. Right now, she's just focusing on, they're about to tell me what the rest of my life is about to be like, and that's a hard thing to fight through. So they get to the scene where they go into the courtroom, and as we kind of know, unfortunately, it does not go her way, and you can tell, even though they did the scene in pure silence, y'all, it was heartbreaking. And clearly the answer was she was guilty. So yeah, the story of the life of. Last but not least, so they're taking everyone out for kickball, and we see that Carol and Barb sneak into the storage room and they start changing clothes. So apparently the plan was to get everyone outside for kickball. They get in, they're able to get it into D block with the guards, and run in with the rest of the pink ladies with their pink outfits on. So they were able to grab some from laundry or whatever connects they have. They start putting it on, and apparently this has been the plan all along. Red is not crazy. It's still, to Carol, Frida is still a big fish. She's just doing it with her sister. So they're preparing to go out, and then they start arguing about some dumb stuff in some story that they're arguing whose story it is, and they do the flashback, and it's neither one of your stories. So y'all are just crazy and envious of each other and just constantly bickering. I don't know what kind of family dynamic y'all had growing up, but your parents, I mean, I don't want to blame them, but y'all have no type of camaraderie amongst each other at all. So apparently this whole thing goes down. They are holding shivs and weapons at each other. And meanwhile, outside, they're about to play kickball and demolish each other. So while they're outside, so let's flip to being outside. It's amazing. Everyone's feeling the fresh air. Maria's out there. All of our key players that we know about to start stabbing and fighting and everything. And they start to pick teams. Now, we're assuming the teams are C block versus D block. That's what they've been saying the whole time. Maria sees that this isn't right. This should be a game of kickball. So she goes to McCullough, who is out there, who has already been concerned about them being out there and being outnumbered. She says, isn't there some type of rule or something where y'all have to pick teams? Like the coaches have to pick teams, or the head. And they go out there and they start doing it. So Baddison is still trying to keep with the plan. It don't matter when I do the signal, which she decided was going to be the Trekkie sign. I don't know why. It was better than scissoring, okay? But she said when we do the sign, then no matter what team you're on, it's on. We're doing this. So they start playing. And after they pick their teams, Maria's purposely picking people on the other side so she can make sure that it's mixed up some. And when they start playing, Baddison tries to do the signal. You can't do a signal for someone to shank someone if there's a ball coming at them. You're going to catch the ball. You can't help it. It's the spirit of kickball. So the spirit of kickball comes over everyone on the field. They start having a good time. Cindy and Flocka are commentating. Meanwhile, we have the line of our free people going out, which includes Sophia and Blanca and Piper. So then they end up splitting the line up. So we don't know what they're splitting it up for or what's going on. And Sophia and Piper, they're free. Piper's brother's waiting for her. Sophia's wife, I don't think it's her wife. I don't think it's her wife still, though, because she's with the pastor guy. So, but you could tell in her eyes that she's like, I'm happy you're out, but like, what now? Because I'm sure she's already pretty much started her life over with this man. So we'll see. I'm sure they'll give us some type of insight on that next season. Just with the look on her face, I know that they're not just completely out. Like, this is not done for Orange is the New Black. Piper is with her brother. I was happy to see him out there and everything because he's always been really supportive and just down for his sister. And Blanca is, as we discussed earlier, is being deported. All right, so back to this weird ending of a season. So we end up flashing to Carol and Barb, and apparently they've gone to the greatest lengths that they can in order to prove who's right and wrong, and they've ended up killing each other. So the guards, the redhead one and the one who says the corny jokes about, I looked at the paper, but I already knew the answer. It was a joke. And he pretty much says that, oh my gosh, it's a double murder. It rarely happens. You just won fantasy inmate. These guards are trash because they don't even say anything about the fact that there are 2 dead bodies on their watch. Now, the redhead is extremely happy that she's one fantasy inmate. Okay. And that's it, y'all. That's what happened. Now, to say that, here's my thing. I don't think they killed each other. I think Frida did it. But I might be crazy. I've also heard, and many of people say their opinion of this, but Piper's gonna end her ass back in jail. in prison. So we'll see. We still need the truth to come out, and now that Caputo has gotten his ass beat by the other officer that was involved in Piscatella's death, we don't know what's going to come of that. So I'm sure something will happen to help overturn Tasty's trial, or at least get it looked into again so that she can fight this and still get justice for Poussey and not have to take extra charges, because this is not right. So that was the conclusion of this episode and also the season of Orange is the New Black. I hope you guys enjoyed my reviews. Definitely give me feedback and suggestions. I definitely appreciate you all tuning in and listening and watching my videos, seeing my outtakes.